Let's bring in the next person. Hi, how old are you?
46.
Okay. If I'm pretty sure in the comments you said that women have to give birth, correct?
They don't have to give birth.
So then giving birth is not a necessary condition to be a woman?
No, not exactly.
Okay, what is not exactly?
A woman that can't give birth doesn't make her a man. She's still a woman.
Okay, well, trans women can't give birth and they're still women.
Trans women can give birth?
No, I said trans women typically can't give birth, so they're still women, right? They would be the atypical. They would be women who can't give birth.
No, a trans woman is someone that was born male that identifies as a woman.
Yes, all gender is identity based. Yeah, that's how all gender works.
No, a woman is an adult female.
What's a female?
Sorry, what's a female?
Yeah, what are the necessary conditions to be female?
What's the description of a female?
What is the necessary conditions? What are the things that you have to have in order, like that are required in order to be a female?
Well, you tell me. What are they?
You're making the claim. Why would I tell you? You're claiming that in order to be a woman, you must be female. So the necessary condition to be woman is to be female.
No.
And that now I need to know what a female is. This is your criteria, not mine. Why do I have to give you criteria for your claim?
A female is someone that is of or denoting whatever it is, right? Childbearing.
What does denoting mean?
Indicating.
What does indicating mean?
I don't know the true definition.
Okay. Do people that denote this, are they people that can do it, or people that just resemble the people that can do it?
So if I'm denoting female qualities, does that make me a woman? If I put on a wig and a dress and you see me from behind, you can't tell if I'm a man in reality.
I would disagree with that definition of female. Unless there's
well, you have to disagree with a lot of things to make this work here. We have to... Why would we ignore what makes a woman a woman?
Well, because your claim is that woman is a biological thing. My claim is that woman is a...
Yeah, and your claim is a trans woman is a man. It's not. So
no, my claim is not
how is a trans woman...
That's not my claim. My claim is that woman is not a biological term. Woman is a social category. It's a socially constructed thing. Therefore, because it's in a social category, it's easily shiftable and movable.
So anything can be a woman then?
Anything that meets the criteria of gender, like anything that's gender identity aligns with that, yes.
Okay, that's not making much sense here.
Do you know what gender identity is?
Not really.
Okay, gender identity is a thing that exists in our brain. I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Do you know what a woman is? What's a woman?
A woman would be anyone whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on female. Can I finish explaining what gender identity is now?
Sure, go ahead.
Great. So gender identity is something that exists within our brain. Gender identity formulates in utero, like hormone washes have an effect on gender identity. Neuron development have an effect on gender identity. Gender identity is just going to be your subjective perception of your sex and the way that sex is oriented in your body.
Okay, so what's the difference between a man and a woman?
Men would have gender identities that align with the male sex. Women would have
What's
gender
the physical
identities that align with the
differences
female
between
sex.
a man and a woman?
There are no physical differences between men.
There are
and
no
women.
physical differences.
No, because they're genders. Gender doesn't have a physical.
Okay.
Gender has behavioral and psychological. Gender doesn't have a physical. Sex has a physical. That's why we have the term sex. And that's why we've made the term
What
male
is the
and female.
difference between a man and a woman? If your father and your mother are standing side, if your mother and father are standing side by side, what is the differences between them?
Their gender identity and the behaviors that they associate within their society and
What is
culture.
their physical differences?
There are no physical differences between men and
Well,
women.
that's a load of bullshit.
It's not.
That's a load of fucking bullshit.
It's not. I
This
understand.
this is
I
really
understand
this is
getting. I
listen.
understand
This is
getting
really insulting
aggressive
people's
because,
intelligence.
yeah, I
This is really
understand you want to
insulting
get
people's
aggressive because you
intelligence.
don't have a response
I
to like
don't
what I
want to get
say.
aggressive.
I get it.
I
Well, you just did. So I
You don't
understand.
understand
I
your you don't
understand getting
understand your
mad because
delusion.
I
You
understand
don't
getting mad
understand
because
your
you can't handle the
delusion.
conversation. I get
You
it.
can handle the
I get it.
difference between a man and a
When
woman.
we are presented with new information, our brains get angry at that, and our brains retaliate. So what your brain is doing now is retaliating to new information. Unfortunately, there is no man gene. There is no woman gene. There's nothing in our genome that denotates being a man or being a woman. There are
Yes,
things that denotate being
someone
male
born
or great.
female
I'm not
becomes an
done.
adult
I'm not done.
woman.
I'm not
Someone
done.
born
I'm not
male
done. That's great. I'm
becomes
not
an
done. That's
adult
great. I'm not done.
man.
That's
That is
wonderful. I'm
it.
not finished. Wonderful. I'm not finished.
It
There's
doesn't matter if
that's
you finish or not.
amazing. I'm not done.
I don't need to listen
Wonderful.
to
I'm not
your.
finished.
I don't care. A
Amazing.
man is a man.
I'm
A
still
woman is a
talking.
woman.
Wonderful. I'm
Adora
still
is not a
talking.
woman. Adora
Amazing.
still
Adora's
has
not here.
her
Don't talk about
male
Adora. Thanks.
genitalia.
Adora is not here. Do
He's a
not
man.
talk about Adora. Thanks.
I don't care.
Adora is
That
not
it
here.
is
Do
what it
not talk
is.
about Adora. Thanks. So again, when we look at the differences in sex development, we see biological characteristics different between males and females. That exists. Everyone knows this exists. There are no biological differences between men and women. All you are going to
Bullshit.
do are name biological
Bullshit.
differences between. So name me one.
If your
What's a
father
biological
is
difference
standing
between
next to
between
your
men and women?
mother, don't tell me that there is no
What are
difference between the
what are
two.
they? What are they?
One is born with certain chromosomes. One has
That's
a certain bone
sex.
structure,
That's genotypic
muscle
sex. That
mass,
is genotypic sex.
genitalia,
Open up a
DNA.
biology book. You're describing genotypic sex. That is
Yeah,
not gender.
go dig up a man's grave and a woman's
Bones are
grave.
genotypic sex. Thanks. Our bones would
Yeah,
be phenotypic sex. Thanks. You're
man
not
and
naming
woman.
gender.
There
You're
are
naming
differences between
sex.
men and
You're
women.
not naming gender. You're naming sex because
Why do you?
because they're different words, my guy. We have different words for a reason. They are different words with different definitions. Just because you don't know
Yeah,
the
and there are
differences in the
differences
definitions
between
doesn't mean
there
anything.
are differences between those people.
Yeah, what's the difference between a female and a woman?
One is an adult and one is not.
So females aren't adults? There's no adult females?
But according to the description, no.
So there are no adult
is an adult
females.
woman.
There are no
female is an adult
That's not what
woman.
I asked. I asked what is the difference between a female and a woman? I'll ask
And I asked,
this doesn't make any sense. Your claim is now
asked
one
you
is
the
an
difference
adult and one
between
is
the
not.
physical differences
Females can
between
be
a man and a
adults.
woman. You say there are none.
There are no
I mean,
biological
how
physical
dumb is that?
representations of being men and being women. There are social ones and there are behavioral ones that we are ingrained upon, but that's
Yeah,
it.
but there are physical differences between a man and a woman.
Such as?
What do you mean, such as?
Such as?
Open up a biology book.
I
Look.
have. I can read you directly out of a neuroscience textbook. You want me to read you directly out of a neuroscience textbook?
And they're going to say there's no.
Do you want me to read you directly out of a neuroscience textbook? Do you want me to read you
Physical
directly out of a
differences.
neuroscience textbook? Yes or no?
Physical differences.
Would you like me to read you directly out of a
No.
neuroscience textbook? Yeah, because you don't actually
no.
want to know the biology of it. You don't, because the minute you go open up a biology book and I go, okay, cool, I'll pull you up a neurological textbook right now that'll
Are
walk you through.
genitalia biological?
Yes, genitalia are biological.
Okay, and you're saying there's no genitalia differences between a man and a woman?
Genitalia is not
there we go.
denotated by
There
being
we
a
go.
woman. It's
Again.
denotated by being male or female.
How much money do you make off of this? I hope the grift is worth it.
Enough to pay my bills.
I don't understand how you can come
This
and
is my
embarrass
full-time
yourself
job.
day after day.
You don't know the
live.
difference between sex and gender, and yet I'm embarrassed.
You don't know the
myself.
difference between a man and a woman.
You
What are
don't
gonna-
know
what
the
are you gonna
difference
teach me?
between sex and gender.
What are you going to
yet
teach me?
I am embarrassing myself, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Deeply.
Well, do you want me to read you out of a biology book or not?
No.
Oh,
I want you to admit there are differences between a man and a woman.
You said that
You
the
saying-
differences
you
would be in a
said there's no
biology book.
differences between a
You
man and
said
a
the
woman.
differences would be in a
You say that
biology
if your
book.
mother
I
and
have a
father are
biology
standing
book
next
pulled
to
in
each
front of
other,
me.
they're the
I
same
have a
thing.
biology
That's what
pulled up
you're
in front.
saying.
No, it's not. I said the differences are behavioral and cultural, and some psychological. Those are the differences.
And
the
there
differences
are no physical differences.
The physical differences would be related to your sex, not your gender.
No, we're not talking.
The physical differences would be related to sex, not gender.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No.
Really?
The differences are
You
real.
think no, the
Reality.
differences are because of your sex, not because of your gender. Please, it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me that like I can provide you evidence for this shit and
How
you
many
still are
genders
like
are there?
no.
Is transgender a gender?
No, transgender is not a gender. That
What
would be
is it?
stupid to say.
Oh, it's not a gender. How many genders are there?
I would say their gender is on a spectrum.
How many
So who
genders
knows?
are there?
I just said it's a
Oh, okay.
spectrum. So why the fuck
Yeah.
would I? Do you know what a spectrum is?
It doesn't make it
Do
makes
you know
absolutely
what
no
a
sense.
spectrum is?
No.
You don't know what a
What do you
spectrum is, then you
lose?
need to go back
What
to
do you lose
kindergarten.
by calling trans women women? I don't lose anything. It's insulting my intelligence. But women
I
lose.
think what's insulting your intelligence is
Women
the fact
lose
that you
their
don't know the
identity.
difference between gender and sex.
And you sit here and tell me there's no difference between a man and a woman? No physical
Never said there
differences?
wasn't a difference between a man and a woman.
Yes, you did.
No, I
You said
didn't.
there was no difference.
No, I said the differences are
No, you did.
no, I
Don't no
didn't.
no you
I
did.
said there are no biological differences.
There are no biological is a penis biological? Is a vagina
Penises are
biological?
denotating sex, not gender. You keep going around in circles because you don't have a retort.
We're not
Do me a favor,
we're,
do me a
we're
favor, do me a favor. Define sex for me and define gender for me right now. Let's see if you can do it. I don't think you can.
do me
Define
okay,
sex and gender. Nope, I asked
you
you a
do me
question.
a
You answer
favor.
the question or you go somewhere
You
else.
do me a favor.
5,
Get
4,
you do me a favor. You
3,
go and get Adora pregnant
2,
for me. Why don't you try
1.
that?
There you go. You couldn't answer the question, so bye. I don't talk to people that can't answer questions. See you. Next time you're going to come here, open up a fucking book. Open up any book, please. God, open up a book. He got a crush on Adora, I swear to God. So, I'll read you guys directly out of a neuroscience textbook. So, this is Neuroscience Second Edition. Roughly speaking, sex can be considered in terms of 3 categories: genotypic sex, phenotypic sex, and gender. Genotypic sex refers specifically to an individual's 2 sex chromosomes. Most people have either 2 X chromosomes, genotypical female, or an X and Y chromosome, genotypical male. Phenotypic sex refers to an individual's sex as determined by their internal and external genitalia, expressionary or secondary sex characteristics, and behavior. If everything proceeds according to plan during development, the XX genotype leads to a person with ovaries, oviducts, uterus, cervix, clitoris, labia, and vagina, i.e., a phenotypic female. By the same token, the XY genotype leads to a person with testicles, epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, penis, and scrotum, a phenotypical male. Gender refers broadly to an individual's subjective perception of their sex and their sexual orientation. It is therefore harder to define than genotypic and phenotypic sex. Generally speaking, gender identity entails self-appraisal according to the traits most often associated with one sex or the other, called gender traits, and these can be influenced by cultural norms. Sexual orientation also entails self-appraisal in the context of culture. For purposes of understanding the neurobiology of sex, it is helpful to think of genotypic sex as largely immutable, phenotypic sex as modifiable, such as development processes, hormone treatment, and or surgery, and gender as a more complex construct that is determined culturally as well. Thanks. Thanks. That's a neurobiology textbook, by the way. See how easy that is? See how easy it is? See that? See how easy that was?